Okay, so I realized that it's been more than a month now since I uploaded anything on YouTube, and the reason for that is so as most of you realize that the world economy isn't doing that great with gas prices going up, all of that nonsense. I'm not going to go into economics right now, but the world is in a pretty bad state right now, and South Africa, we've been having problems with load shedding, we call it, is where the power basically goes out. Our electricity provider switches off the power on a specific region every single now and then, so every single few hours our power goes out, and it's usually for about 2.5 hours. Moving on from that, so basically our power has been going out the entire time for these past 4 months now. It's been quite some time, and it is quite irritating because you are going to lose fish during that process because of the oxygen. And yes, I can get battery operated air pumps, which I do have, but that only covers the oxygenation of the water or the movement of the water. We still have to worry about heat, and I don't have anything for that. I do not think that you do get a spare part or like a battery operated heater that you can use while the power is out to keep the temperature at a stable level, because what can happen is fish can adapt to their surroundings, so they can adapt to water going down, water temperatures going down and rising again. They can do that, but I mean 3 times a day for 2 hours, so it's 6 times a day that they have to adapt basically to water temperatures rising and falling. That's just not going to work. Your fish are going to die. And then we do have the lights, which switches on and off, and the filter that switches on and off every single time. That does give the fish a shock, so stress plays a role as well. So there are a lot of things that comes into play when your power goes out, especially 3 times a day for the past 4 months now. Added to that, a few weeks ago rather, 3 weeks ago more or less, government implemented a water crisis or a water shortage in specific regions of South Africa. So that means that restrictions had to be made for those individual regions, and that is why I've been sitting without water for the past 3 days now, I think 3 or 4 days. So I haven't had any water for the past 4 days, 3 to 4 days, and that is quite hectic. Luckily I did do a water change before that, and my tanks are fine for about 2 weeks without doing any water changes. I mean, they are established enough now to survive for those 2 weeks, and I do have plants inside of my tank that can maintain stable water parameters throughout those 2 weeks, but I do not want to push it further than that. Maybe I could, really don't want to try that. So it is getting quite hectic, and that really got me thinking this past month, do I really want to continue, or is this really a viable source of income that I want to indulge in? Because I mean, me being very young, only 19 years old now, I do have a lot of other business ventures that I want to endure. I do have a lot of other dreams that I do want to follow, and I basically cannot have a fish room coming in the way of that, because this is more like a hobby too. I never wanted it to be a job. I just thought it would be cool to get some profit from breeding fish and enjoying the hobby. So that was going to be the main purpose of this fish room, just to make a few extra bucks every here and there, because I mean, you can't really make decent amount of money with this small space that I do currently have. A lot of thoughts have been running through my mind. Do I want to continue on with this fish room? Do I just want to sell everything and completely stop with this? Maybe just get a display tank and go on from there, because not only am I going to have these problems like water restrictions or electricity power outages, all of those things, but the customers for pet shops or local fish stores as well are going to have these problems, are going to run into them. So that is a problem for me as well, because me trying to sell my fish to a local fish store, that's not going to work, because people aren't going to buy the fish, they can't maintain the fish, so sales are going to go down. This isn't really going to work. So I've just been making some plans, writing everything down, just looking at all my options that I do have, and yes, it got me in a bit of a business depression state, whatever you call it. Like really, I didn't want to continue on with this fish room, but I've been in here every single day. I've been taking care of the fish, maintaining the fish tanks. As you guys can see, I got 2 more 2-foots. So I have been continuing on behind the scenes. That is the reason why I haven't uploaded in the past 4 weeks now, 1 month basically. So yes, there you have it. I thought about a week ago, this thought or this idea came into my head of what if I maintain a fish room but rather not focus on the breeding of the fish, but like having a fish gallery. Sure, most of you guys know MD Fish Tanks channel. Literally lay down every single night continuously watching all these videos over and over again. I mean, I've watched all of these videos for about 5 times now, over and over again. And then I remembered that it did occur to me to do a fish gallery to focus on the natural aquascaping side of fish tanks rather than trying to breed these guys out, getting brood stock, and that is going to take a long time to get all of the brood stock or to grow them out. So while I've been in my thoughts, I thought about ideas to get myself out of the situation of having no electricity, having no water, and you do have solutions for that, such as rainwater or storing some water. You can't store too long to use in a fish tank though, but there are some alternatives that I can use for the water problems. And then going into electricity, I can use a UPS, I can use solar systems, battery operated air pumps, whatever you name it. So I can do those things. So I am sorted basically. That is what I'm trying to give through to you guys. I am going to be sorted once I get all those things in place. Of course, it is going to require a lot of money and a lot of materials, but I can do that, and then I do not have to worry about, will the customers of the fish store or the customers that I want to sell my fish to eventually, are they going to be able to maintain these fish tanks, and are they going to be able to buy fish from me or buy plants from me? That has basically left me to the conclusion of rather focusing on a gallery type of studio. Like I said earlier on, MD Fish Tank, something like that. I really enjoy that. The only fish that I really have bred are the guppies that breed from themselves. I've just separated them from the parent, trying to get that pure strain going. So that's what I've been doing. That hasn't been too difficult. And then from there, and then Brittany's plickers, I've been getting in a few spawns. I think it's like 2 spawns, and they are sitting on their 3rd spawn now. Unfortunately, I did lose a few because they were in a 3-foot tank, that 3-foot tank that you see behind me. So they were in there and they were struggling to get food, as well as the water parameter fluctuations and all of that. I did lose a lot of them. So I'm sitting with like 30 now out of 2 generations. So that isn't too bad, but it could be a lot better. My rummy nose is bred for some reason, or maybe it's just a few guppy fry that I left inside of the tank, because I know it isn't very easy to breed rummy nose tetras. You have to put a bit of effort into it, but I mean, if you do have the right conditions for them and a few stems or like Java moss or anything like that, nice dense plants, they will go into there and scatter their eggs, and then hopefully the eggs will survive. So I have like 3 rummy nose tetra babies. Very happy about that. They didn't even do anything and they bred for me, but those are basically the only fish that I have bred. All my other fish are either growing out or I've just left them. My neon tetras have been in here for about 4 months now. My Siamese fighters that I do have been in here for about more than a month, maybe like 2 months now. I can't remember, but I do have them as well. I do have the guppies that have been breeding, and my Brittany's plickers and Corridoras are growing out now, so there's nothing I can really do with that. And then it also comes into play with breeding fish. You are going to need a lot of grow out space, and that is something that I do not have. Maybe I can do that in the future, but as for now, I cannot do that. That's just not something that I do see in my budget range and that I do see in my time schedule. To break it all down now, what I basically said is running a fish room, trying to breed or profit is going to be hard in South Africa at the moment until the economy. What I'm trying to say is, until South Africa gets back on their feet, even the entire world gets back on their feet, something like a fish room isn't going to be, or something like keeping fish isn't going to be everyone's first priority. So it is going to be difficult. Yes, I can sell a few fish, and yes, I do not breed a lot of them, so I will be able to sell a few fish, but I mean, that's not really going to get me any profit. That sort of takes away from the purpose of a breeding for profit fish room. So I've dabbled in other options, and I've come to the conclusion to rather focus on getting a studio or a room or whatever, and trying to create aquascapes, natural environments for the fish to live in. So that is something that I really do enjoy, and I mean, it does give me some peace of mind. It is like my therapy sessions, one would say. And that regarding YouTube, I am going to create aquascapes and present them online for you guys, make videos and record them for you guys to display my tanks and to help you guys out. I am aware that there are a lot of channels out there that do this, but I mean, I have to find something that separates me from all of them. So I'm going to do some research, try and figure out all of that. But I do think it is going to be very viable. Even if it doesn't give a lot of views, or I do not gain a lot of subscribers, I'm still going to enjoy to film those and present them to you guys on YouTube, or upload them on YouTube. So those are going to be my plans moving on in the YouTube section. Maybe I'll make a few informational videos every now and then I do have a few that I've planned out that I want to present to you guys. I'll do a breeding project every now and then, share that to you guys. Maybe you can learn something from that. Maybe you can find something that you've been trying to breed, and I can help you out with that. So that is going to be the plans for YouTube regarding the fish room. And then regarding the fish room now, at this current moment, I'm going to keep it like this until I gather a bit more resources that I want to do to get like proper aquascapes. I'm not going to do any opti-white glass or starfire glass or anything like that at the moment. For now, I'm just going to stick to the rainbow glass, I think it's called, the normal tank glass. I'm going to stick to that. With all of these tanks, I'm not going to get any more tanks in this fish room currently. I've literally been buying and buying and buying every single time for these past few months with the money that I've been saving up. So that has literally all gone into this fish room, and I do not see any reason to buy any more tanks or to buy. Maybe I'll get more fish. Of course I'll get more fish, I can't help it. But yes, I'm going to do that. Not going to get any more. So what I'm going to do with all of these tanks that we do have here is I'm going to turn them vertically or horizontally linear. I'm just going to turn them so the side is facing forward or the front is facing forward, however you take it. So that is something that I'm going to look into, creating those aquascapes, growing out plants, and just stop focusing on the fish, because it's really been getting on my nerves. Even losing brood stock that I'm trying to grow out, my bristlenose plickers, I've lost like 7 blue eye lemons these past few months. Blue eye lemon bristlenose plickers, I mean. So that, I don't like losing fish at all. It really gets to me. I do realize and I do know that it is part of the process, it is part of the hobby, but taking a fish and growing it out for a couple of months and then losing it all of a sudden, it sucks. It really does suck, and I do not want to go through anything more like that. I'm rather just going to focus on creating that aquascape, having less fish but caring for them more, making sure they are happier. I don't know why I'm telling you guys all of this. I'm just basically mumbling. You guys are like my audience, so I'm running through everything with you guys, just all of the plans that I do have planned for the future. But yes, that is what I'm going to do regarding the fish room. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Hopefully you guys understand now. If you've been wondering where I've been, hopefully you've been wondering where I've been. So there's all of that information. And then finally, I just wanted to thank you guys, because even through the time that I've been gone, my subscribers have still been going up, my watch time views have still been going up, so thank you very much for that. I do appreciate that. It isn't going as fast as I would like it to be, but with that, I do know that I haven't been as consistent that I want to be with the fish room, YouTube and all of that. So as soon as I put in my part, I'm sure it's going to grow a lot faster than it is growing at this current moment in time. If you are looking forward for the future of this fish room, for the future of Aqua Supreme, I'm probably going to change the name of the channel and the name of my fish room. Basically, I'm going to change all of that and get a cool logo, get all of those things for the future. As I was going on, please leave a like, comment if you'd like to leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, share the videos with family and friends or anybody that is in the aquarium hobby. That does help out a lot with the algorithm and all of that. Turn on the post notification bell so you are informed every single time that I do upload a video. And until next time, peace.